Hey guys, and welcome to this guide for Season 6 League of Legends Champion. In today's guide we'll be going over Sion in the support role. I apologise for not uploading during the week. I've been pretty busy, but I have made time to make this guide. Now, Sion is, well, he's Sion. Everybody knows what he does, and maybe not the old Sion before he was updated and stuff, but he is remarkable in the support role. It depends how you play him, it depends how you build him, runes, etc. Whether you go scaling or you go flat, stuff like that all comes into it. So to speak, we'll just go over the champion right now. So Sion right here. And we'll bring up his abilities as we always do. So his passive Glory in Death. After being killed, Sion will reanimate with rapidly decaying health. His attacks become very rapid, gain 100% lifesteal and deal bonus damage equal to 10% of his target's maximum health. All his abilities are replaced with Death Surge, which grants a burst of movement speed. So as you can see right here, Sion gets KO'd, he comes back, starts whacking away at Jarvan. It's basically what happens to you, and it's pretty handy because then it sort of means that if you die in the support role, then you can always back your ADC up if they're going into trade, because then you can go into the moving target as well. But that's not the way to play him. You don't want to activate that passive quite a lot. Bit like Kog'Maw, you don't want to use it a lot. If you come to that position where you can't help it and you're dying, again, it's always good to just get a bit of damage off to try and help your team, but don't focus on the passive. That's not what makes Sion a great champion. It makes him really viable in terms of damage even when he's dead, but you know, focus on other things other than that. So his Q is Decimating Smash. Sion charges a powerful swing in an area in front of himself that will deal damage to enemies when released. If he charges for enough time, enemies hit by the swing will also be knocked up and stunned. So play this one. This is great to combo into a Yasuo. It's a quick knock up. It does a lot of damage if you do run hybrid pen reds. I'll go over that in the runes though. That's a really good skilly Sion's. His W is Soul Furnace. Sion shields himself and can reactivate after 3 seconds to deal magic damage to enemies nearby. When Sion kills enemies, he passively gains maximum health. So this is pretty key in trading, it's pretty key in protecting yourself, and it also applies magic damage as well. So when you're going in on the ADC and stuff like that, they're probably not going to focus on magic damage, magic resistance. So he does a lot of damage, and that's why you should always take your hybrid pens. So that is Soul Furnace. Roar of the Slayer is a Z. Sion fires a short-range shockwave that damages and slows and reduces the armor of the first enemy it hit. If the shockwave hits a minion or monster, it will be knocked back, damaging and slowing all enemies that it passes through. This is excellent for a combined slow, basically, reducing the armor of the first enemy that it hits. Is also very good for when you're going for a trade. So if you can land this, it will slow them down and you'll be able to get a good trade in with minimum resistances on the enemy ADC or whoever you're going up against. His R is Unstoppable Onslaught. Now this is probably the best skill, and it's fantastic to do with Sion. You get a big roar at the start of it. Everyone knows that Sion is on his way, but they don't know which way he's coming. Sion charges in a direction, ramping up speed over time. He can steer his charge slightly with the mouse cursor location. When he collides with an enemy, he deals damage and knocks them up based on the distance he has charged. So the longer the charge, the more damage once he hits. So it's always good to progressively use this into a team fight. Or if you can't help it and everyone's coming onto you, it's good to get right in the face of the enemy, combine it with your Decimating Smash, activate your Soul Furnace, hit your E. It's all good in a combo. It's very good. So I'll let that one play out. As I said before, he lets out a big roar. You can steer it with the mouse cursor relatively easily, but one thing is sure, don't end up hitting like a turret point or even if the turret's not there, obviously you won't go over it, or like the scuttle crab, stuff like that, you will not get past it, it will stop you. That's just a word, the warning. I think it's the scuttle crab anyway. So the way that I would upgrade this, it's pretty difficult actually, because if you go relic shield into a poke lane, you're probably going to go with your soul furnace. If you want to go an aggressive lane, you go with decimating smash, and then it's either between maxing Q or E. Personally, I like to go Q because I like to get that decimating smash off, get as much damage as you can. You'll just position yourself in a brush, put it down, let it charge up, and hopefully they walk into it if you position it correctly. So the way you max it, probably start W for your relic shield just to make sure that you're okay going in for that CS. Q, then E, then max Q, E, W. Obviously, take your unstoppable onslaught anytime that you can, because it is fantastic and it's great fun to play. So that is the skills, that's the majority of the skills on Sion. His runes, I did speak a little bit about his runes in the hybrid pens and stuff, but I've actually got 2 rune pages of Sion, and I'll explain why. So in this first one I've got 9 Mark of Hybrid Pen reds, 9 scaling armor yellows, 9 scaling blues of magic resistance, and 3 quintessences of health regeneration. This is because I find that in order to sustain a lot more in lane, you can take a lot of damage as Sion because you're going to be a tanky character anyway, so there's no reason to put flat armor in there. Personally speaking, this is just preference. So if you put health regeneration in there, you'll take a lot of damage, but you'll also regenerate that health very, very quickly. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Hybrid pen is optional. You can either go for hybrid pen or magic pen. I would probably recommend a hybrid pen so you get that equal amount of damage in AD and AP. He is a magic damage designated champion, so that's something to bear in mind as well. Like I said, these can be switched out for whatever you prefer. It doesn't need to be scaling armor. The reason I don't have scaling health is because I have the quintessences of health regen. I think this is a really good rune page. It goes really well with Sion, and it's good if you're partnering up with an Ezreal, someone who scales. Even if you surrender lane, you're going to scale in an absolute monster, so that's something to bear in mind. For the other rune page, I've actually gone with quintessences of armor here, and this was because I was against a really hard designated AD bot lane, as well as magic resistance, because if you come up against someone who's going to do a lot of magic damage early, such as LeBlanc, she can snowball so hard, and if you've got magic resistance that scales, you're going to struggle to get the resistances for that. Of course, you can rush a lockout Viren Solaris, something like that. Again, going with the hybrid pens, scaling armor there, and the flat armor in the Quints. You could also change this up and put health in here as well, but that's just your 2 rune pages that I use for Sion. This one's more preferred because Sion is a scaling champion, and basically you want to just scale off the face of the earth. Once you get into that late game, you're going to be unstoppable, trust me, it's fantastic. So those are the rune pages, these are my preference. If you want to change it up, you can, I've given you your options. You can also change it up for someone else, be original with your rune pages and do anything that actually helps you. So the masteries are here, 0, 12 and 18, 12 in Cunning, 18 in Resolve. I go for the movement speed, so Wanderer, into your secret stash, into your meditation and bandit, so that you get that extra gold that's funding you in lane, because you aren't going to build an ancient coin, you're going to go with the relic stacks, okay? With the resolve tree, you start on Unyielding into Explorer, then you'll go your runic armor. This is basically giving you stronger regeneration, etc. Perseverance is better than insight in my opinion. You don't really need your flash because you have unstoppable onslaught. If you're in a tight position, activate that and run away. Run straight back to your base, they won't be able to catch you. Since you're so tanky, Legendary Guardian into Bond of Stone is fantastic. It gives you those negatives for the enemy team, so they can't put a lot of damage on your team because you'll be soaking it all up. And that is the masteries. I don't really have a set item set for Sion. If I was going to go anything, so this is probably your basic stuff to go. You probably start either of these. If you need the peel, pick up Face of the Mountain. If you don't, then rush the Eye of Equinox, finish that very quickly. Obviously, if you go Face of the Mountain, you want to pick up your Sight Stone, and I find Mobility Boots is really good on Sion. Again, you can go with your Swiftness as well. Swiftness is very viable too if they've got a lot of tendencies to slow you down. Boots of Swiftness is there. If you need a lot of catch potential, Boots of Mobility, etc. Heavy APT, Merc Treads, I don't need to tell you that. In terms of offensive stuff, Binary Command is a fantastic item to have on Sion. It is brilliant. I'd recommend this as probably part of his core. It's an excellent item. It offers everything that you possibly could want on a champion like Sion. It gives you the base health regen, gives you cooldown reduction, magic resistance, ability power, health, everything that you need, and it grants your nearby allies that 15%? No, plus 15 magic resistance because of the Aegis built into the Binary Command, which is excellent. Frozen Heart is another fantastic item that recently just got buffed. All these items got buffed a little bit. Also, you want to maybe look into your Warmogs if you're going over that 3k health mark, so you activate the passive. Sunfire Cape is an excellent choice as well as Randuin's. Alright, so there's your basic outline for a build. Other than that, would I build anything else on Sion? Maybe a ZZ Rot if you really want to push that lane pressure. That's excellent. Sion is really good at clearing waves as well because of his W and his Decimating Smash as well. It's really good on Sion. So this is probably the items that you're probably going to look towards. Definitely on Sion, I found anyway. These are just, they go hand in hand with him. You're scaling off the health, you're scaling into the late game. Also, if I can just look at my match history, so I played him in rank a few times. Yeah, and I did build the Binary Command in Frozen Heart in this one. Frozen Heart again, so Frozen Heart is basically a really good item if you're going against an AD sort of team that requires a lot of attack speed. You want to pick that up as soon as possible. And I didn't complete my Targons in any of these. I guess I was just looking to rush that Frozen Heart because of all the buffs it does give to you. It's an excellent item. Obviously these ones was before the update, so it's a really good item. So guys, this has been my Sion guide. I hope you've enjoyed this. Sion is an excellent champion to play in the support role. People might say you're trolling, but once they see the outline of your play and you keeping your ADC alive, etc., it is fantastic and they will be shocked. You can claim with him, as I just showed you there. I played with him in rank and I've never lost as of yet, because he's really hard to deal with once he scales up. So once again guys, thank you for watching and I shall see you in the next one.